everyone. AI is everywhere these days, right? It's impossible to get away from.
Yeah, it's really taken off.
But we're not just following the hype here. We're going deep with data from Contentful. They surveyed like 820 professionals this year, all about their real experiences with generative AI, and not just the techies.
Right, it's across the board now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is like your AI cheat sheet, figuring out where you fit in all of this.
Exactly. We're going to break down the trends, the insights, no matter what your background is.
So one of the things that jumped out from this survey, the gap between people who think they know AI versus those actually using it. Big difference.
What's interesting is this survey, it shows those who are actually trying out the AI tools, they're the ones getting the benefits, not just talking about potential. They're actually shaping what their work looks like because of it.
It's not just about feeling ahead of the game either. It's actually impacting how much people are getting done. Those with more AI knowledge are saving over 10 hours a week. Can you imagine? 10 hours. What would you even do with 10 extra hours?
It's huge for productivity. Really shows the importance of actually getting your hands dirty with these tools. And that leads into something else. It's not even about one single tool. It's finding the right one for what you need to do.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the hype cycle, but people are realizing there's a whole bunch of tools out there.
It's true. The average person is using about 3 different AI tools, but they know of like 12. So they're trying things out, seeing what sticks, what works for them. That's a good sign, moving from just hearing about it to actually getting in there.
This reminds me of when smartphones first became a thing. Everyone was wowed, but it took a minute to figure out what apps were actually useful,
Great comparison. And like with smartphones, the real power of AI is how it makes us better, not replaces us completely. Which actually, the survey found almost a quarter of people, they're paying for AI tools with their own money for work.
Now that is wild. Really shows how valuable people find this stuff. I mean, would you pay out of pocket for just any work software? Probably not.
Exactly. They see how these tools can make them more productive, make work easier in general. Some people are even willing to get ahead of the curve with their own money.
Which, thinking bigger picture, maybe means some companies are behind their employees on this whole AI thing.
Definitely possible. We've seen it before with big tech shifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how long it took some companies to get on board with the cloud? The ones who waited, they had trouble finding good people, keeping the ones who were already up to speed.
It really makes you think about everyone out there tinkering with AI on their own time, like their own personal training program, but that's got to come with its own set of challenges. Even if you're motivated, figuring this stuff out solo can be intimidating.
Oh, absolutely. Learning any new tech has its hurdles, especially with how much info and bad info is floating around. And the survey actually showed this. Over half the people, no matter how experienced, they want more guidance on using AI responsibly.
It's that feeling of, okay, I've got these powerful tools, but am I using them right ethically?
Yeah,
We all need that reassurance.
for sure. And wanting guidance, it's not just about avoiding mistakes, it's about trust. The more transparent and well-defined AI use becomes, the faster everyone benefits.
Okay, so custom AI tailored to a whole company, even individual jobs. That seems incredibly powerful, kind of mysterious too. Like, how does that even work?
I think of it like this, a team of programmers, but instead of people, it's algorithms, all working to make your work better. Imagine feeding an AI everything about your company, all the old projects, customer interactions, even internal documents. It can analyze all that, find patterns humans might miss.
So not just a one-size-fits-all AI, but one that gets your company, its goals, maybe even predicts what it needs.
Exactly. That's where AI could really change the game. We're not just automating tasks anymore. It's about boosting human intelligence, making it personal. But before we go too far into the future of custom AI, let's see what people are actually using right now. The survey asked about specific tools people are using in their workflows.
Was it all super techie stuff? I'm more familiar with like ChatGPT than the really specialized programs.
You and everyone else. ChatGPT was the most popular tool by far, but it wasn't alone.
So ChatGPT is living up to the hype then. But what else were people using?
Bing came in second, actually. Over a third of people were using it for work and personal stuff.
Bing! That's Microsoft's search engine, right? I hadn't really thought of it as a main AI tool.
It's easy to miss. But they've been adding AI into search and other features for a while now. Seems like people are catching on. What's really interesting is, beyond those big names, a lot of people are using paid, specialized AI tools.
Specialized tools. Okay, now you've got my attention. What kind of tools are we talking about?
Think GitHub Copilot for coding, Adobe Firefly for design, Jasper and Writer for, you guessed it, writing. Those are laser focused on certain tasks, certain professions, and People are paying for them, meaning there's a demand for AI that goes beyond the basics, something more tailored.
Like instead of a basic wrench, you've got a whole set of tools made for specific jobs.
Exactly. That specialization is important. It shows a deeper understanding of how AI fits into different fields. It's not about replacing human work, it's figuring out where AI can make us better.
Makes me think, what are people hoping AI will actually solve for them? Is it speed? Or are there other, maybe less obvious benefits?
Good question. And the survey asked about that too. Creating content was a big one, as you'd expect. People using it for research, drafting, outlines, everything. But it goes way beyond that.
Okay, so content aside, what else were people tackling with these AI tools?
Lots of variety, actually.
Yeah.
People mention using AI to test applications, writing code, cleaning data, even analyzing markets. It's all over the place.
So AI is becoming less of a shiny new thing, more of a real tool people are building into their work.
Exactly. That's a big shift. We're moving away from this idea of AI as a replacement for us towards more of a team effort. Using AI to smooth out workflows, make better decisions, be more productive overall.
That connects back to wanting guidance on responsible use, right? It's one thing to have these powerful tools, but another to know we're using them effectively, ethically.
Absolutely. Which brings us to a huge theme from the survey, trust. How much do people trust companies to be upfront about how they're using AI?
Because even if we're fine using AI ourselves, we still want to know how companies are using it on us, right?
Yeah.
Reading news, shopping online, even just scrolling social media.
You got it. And 76% of people said companies have to be upfront about AI use. That's huge.
Wow, that's a clear message. What's behind that? Are people scared of being tricked by algorithms they don't get?
It's deeper than that.
Yeah.
People mainly just want authenticity, clarity. They might not fear AI itself,
Yeah.
but they want to know when it's part of their experience. Is it shaping the info they get, the products they see, the services they use?
It's about keeping that human connection, even when everything's digital. We want to know there's still a person back there somewhere.
Exactly. It's about being in control of our own experiences, making real choices, not being led around by algorithms. And it's not just how companies use AI, it's in the workplace too.
So back to that guidance thing. People wanting to know how their own company uses AI, what it means for their job.
Right. 36% of people felt their company was giving enough guidance on using AI, but 51% wanted more. That's a pretty big gap.
So companies are jumping into AI, but maybe not explaining it enough to their own employees.
Happens all the time with new tech. The adoption's fast, but making clear rules, best practices, that takes time.
But it's got to be addressed, right?
For sure. If people feel lost on how to use AI right responsibly, it creates mistrust, anxiety, maybe even makes them resist the whole thing.
It's about finding that middle ground. Being excited about AI, but also cautious, aware.
Exactly. And that's what we'll dig into in the last part of our deep dive.
So we've covered the knowledge gap, the tools people are using, and the need for transparency, guidance. But what about actually using AI? How are people feeling about having this stuff in their everyday work?
Well, this is where the survey gets really interesting. Contentful asked people about integrated AI, features built right into the tools they're already using versus keeping AI separate, standalone. And the results were split, actually.
Splits, really? You'd think everyone wants everything in one place, less clicking around.
Right. But while more people, about 56%, did want that seamless integration, almost 29% like their AI separate.
So almost a third of people want some distance between their usual software and the newer AI stuff. Why do you think that is?
I think it's about control and maybe a little bit of healthy skepticism. When AI is behind the scenes, blended into your workflow, it's hard to know exactly when it's working, how it's changing things. Some people, that makes them uneasy. They want to decide when to use AI, see its impact clearly.
Makes sense. The more we rely on something, the more we want to understand it. Nobody wants to feel like they're just along for the ride.
Exactly. This control thing came up again too. 72% of people, no matter what they thought about integration, they wanted an easy on-off switch for those AI features.
Like an AI kill switch, just in case.
Exactly. It's peace of mind. If they need to, they can take over. And this actually goes back to guidance. When people can experiment with AI safely, on their own terms, they get comfortable faster, see the good stuff without feeling like they're giving up control.
Building trust slowly through actually using it, understanding it. Are there other areas where the survey showed that need for more trust building between us and AI?
One more thing I got to share. There was this unexpected agreement between the AI experts and those who were less familiar with the tech.
You mean these two groups, totally different levels of knowledge, they agreed on something?
Not one, but two major points. Pretty wild considering that knowledge gap we talked about.
Okay, now I'm really curious. Lay it on me.
First, both groups were big on disclosure when AI is being used. Remember that 76% wanting companies to be upfront.
Yeah, wanting to know if it's a human or a bot behind the curtain.
Well, that feeling was strong for both the AI pros and those less familiar. They all agreed, whether you're an employee or just a customer, you deserve to know when AI is in the mix. It's about keeping things ethical, holding folks accountable as AI gets more powerful.
Transparency is key. What was the second point everyone agreed on?
Control that kill switch for AI.
In case the robots get any ideas, right?
Both groups saw the value in that. Having that on-off switch means more control over your work. AI becomes a tool you use strategically, not something forcing you into a completely automated way of doing things.
So even the experts get it. We need human oversight, human choice in an AI world. It's not about replacing us, it's finding how humans and AI work best together.
Exactly, that balance is going to be crucial, especially with custom AI solutions becoming more common.
Which, if you remember, is something most companies are already exploring according to Contentful.
It's the next big wave, and it could change everything. AI tools trained on your company's info, your industry, even your way of working. The possibilities are huge.
Makes you think, what is next for AI? Where do we fit in as people, as workers, with all this changing so fast?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah,
We don't have all the answers, but this contentful survey, it gives us a lot to consider.
it does feel like a turning point. AI isn't some far-off thing anymore. It's here, it's being used everywhere. And it's up to us to figure this out thoughtfully, strategically.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Stay curious, keep learning, and remember,
Mm.
what AI becomes, that's not just happening to us. We shape it with every choice we make, every action we take.
That wraps up our deep dive into generative AI and what it means for all of us. Hope you found it useful, got you thinking, and maybe even a little inspired. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, keep diving deep.